Hey, Danny Franc here with Danny Franc's Walks of Life. If you stuck around this far, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I'm excited to say that after taking a brief month, a me month to myself, I'm back and the podcast is back after a brief hiatus, possibly stronger than ever. I've got some awesome episodes recorded for you. I got some ideas to improve the podcast, make this more entertaining, and sharpen up in general. But before we get going, I just want to say, if you haven't already, please subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, Podbean, whatever. Leave a comment, review, tell a friend. It all helps. But really, from the bottom of my heart, I hope you are enjoying these, and it really does mean the world to me that you've taken the time to check these out. So, without further ado, this guy, J.P. Johnson, is an artist, a poet, an organizer of sorts. He does a lot of things, wears a lot of hats, but we didn't really know each other that well before this conversation, and I gotta say, I sensed that we would probably have a connection, and after having this conversation with him, I really did feel like we related on a lot of levels that I didn't anticipate. So, it's a very cool conversation. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for listening. This is Danny Franc's Walks of Life. You never know when or where you'll get inspired. Sometimes it's your friends, sometimes your family, a comedian, a stranger, or even that man on the street. Walks of Life is a show that aims to explore the thoughts, stories, and perspectives of different people like you and me, from all walks of life. This is Danny Franc's Walks of Life. Hey, Danny Franc here with Danny Franc's Walks of Life. If you stuck around this far, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I'm excited to say that after taking a brief month, a me month to myself, I'm back and the podcast is back after a brief hiatus, possibly stronger than ever. I've got some awesome episodes recorded for you. I got some ideas to improve the podcast, make this more entertaining, and sharpen up in general. But before we get going, I just want to say, if you haven't already, please subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, Podbean, whatever. Leave a comment, review, tell a friend. It all helps. But really, from the bottom of my heart, I hope you are enjoying these, and it really does mean the world to me that you've taken the time to check these out. So, without further ado, this guy, J.P. Johnson, is an artist, a poet, an organizer of sorts. He does a lot of things, wears a lot of hats, but we didn't really know each other that well before this conversation, and I gotta say, I sensed that we would probably have a connection, and after having this conversation with him, I really did feel like we related on a lot of levels that I didn't anticipate. So, it's a very cool conversation. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for listening. This is Danny Franc's Walks of Life. Alright, man. So before we record, is there anything that we shouldn't talk about? If there is, I just like to say this at the beginning so people know that, if there is something you say and you don't mean it, or after the fact, I shouldn't have said that, feel free to tell me or to take a pause, and then we can edit it out that way. But there's no pressure to say anything. Okay. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's half conversation where we're just kind of freeballing it. And then I'll rein it in with the questions when I feel like we need to. Okay. But they're all unique. Everybody's unique. So
word.
Yeah. We'll see where it goes. Do you want me to call you JP Johnson? Do you want me to call you... Ooh, I'm glad that went off now. My bad. I'm sorry about that.
No worries. JP would be perfect.
JP? Okay.
Oh shit.
Let's find out.
Yeah, before we do that, I've been real bad recently.
It's okay, dude, if it happens.
Oh no, even recording with us, I'll have guests. I'm like, yo, turn off your phone. And then halfway through the recording, oh, that's me. Yeah, my DoorDash is here. I ordered food while we were talking.
I feel like such a jerk because I've been interviewed on certain podcasts, and I feel like a jerk because after the fact I realized like you kind of weren't paying attention. I didn't even realize it in the moment,
Yeah.
but like I think I have like an ADD brain or something. It's very hard for me to focus sometimes, and like
Yeah.
I've listened to podcasts and they're like, "Are you on your phone?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, dude." Like it's very unprofessional. I got to get into the habit though of always making sure all my shit's
Yeah.
off. But yeah, without further ado, with that weird convoluted intro, no, I'm happy to be here again for another exciting episode of Danny Frank's Walks of Life. Thank you all and welcome back. We are graced today by a fellow podcaster and person in healthcare that I'm getting to know. We've met mostly virtually. We have some mutual friends, but he seems like a cool guy, and I have a feeling we're going to get along really well. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only JP
Johnson.
I'm sorry. I was like, should I say Johnson? He said just call him JP.
But JP, it's
I
fine.
know it was implied.
Yeah,
it's my bad. It's like clearly I knew it because I said it a minute ago. And I was like, should I say it?
It's fine. It's I mean, it's a lot of J's, P's, and Johnsons.
Well, welcome.
Thank you for saying graced. I was like, oh, graced. My God. I started blushing. Oh, boy.
No, dude, thank you so much for having me here, and thank you for being on the podcast.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for listening and just being vocally supportive so far,
Yeah,
dude. Because like, I can't tell you how appreciative I am of any sort of positive commentary. And with that in mind, too, just a reminder, if you guys aren't already subscribed on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, whatever, please do. Please subscribe. Please go to the YouTube channel and listen, because I'm going to be putting out more and more stuff. Just learned how to animate again.
Yeah.
I want to put some treats out there, but it's better when I have an audience. So
hell yeah, and leave comments too.
Please leave comments.
Man, that's the one thing that we love.
Yes, and when you can, please subscribe. Not only my podcast, but JP's as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a bit about your podcast?
Oh,
Might as well.
We're going right into the plug.
I know, right? Like, might as well. Let's get the plugs out of the way.
On
so
Blast
I don't forget,
with JP.
And then we'll get to fun stories.
Life on Blast with JP Johnson. Go on your web browser. Just type in On Blast with JP. .podbean.com and you'll find my big dumb face, and it's like a, how would you describe it? We just put shit on blast.
I mean, I've read your description. Your description is to be kind of like an LGBT friendly place that discusses politics and issues that you feel need to be brought into the limelight, put on blast. And I think you guys do a good job doing that, and I think more than anything, it's your fun way of hanging out with the people that are in your circle,
good friends,
and discussing cool issues, man, and discussing what it's like to be an LGBT person or to be a lesbian in a committed, normal relationship. The boring side of LGBT, which is honestly probably the thing that needs to be showcased the most.
Well, I mean, we did that because. Can I say this on your podcast?
You can say whatever you want, man.
Cool. Right now, the powers that are, or the people in charge, are kind of fucksticks. Can I cuss?
You can say whatever you want, dude. Yeah.
I mean, you already said that, but I just had to make sure again. I feel like a lot of people have been very open with being racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, and just vile human beings, and instead of being on the internet yelling at these people constantly, because I've been on one of the episodes I invited my sister on because she is in the LGBT oh my god, I have
LGBT.
dyslexia. Thank you.
LGBTQ, if you want to get technical.
QIA plus. Yes. Yeah. She's in the community, and she went and did a speech at her school. And growing up, she told everyone that I was the reason why she was unable to come out.
Because of you specifically?
Yeah.
Really?
Because I knew she was... okay. I suspected that she was in the... I thought she was gay.
Yeah.
So I would tell her, just come out.
And for people that don't know you, you're not
No.
gay. You have like a family.
Yeah.
And like a wife and kids. And
Well, I mean, you could be
right?
gay and have a family.
Well, I know, and I got to be careful with how I'm phrasing
Yeah,
these things. But no, I'm saying just for background, like, so
Yeah.
this is an issue
So I'm a...
that is important to you, but it
Yeah.
isn't necessarily because of you directly, right?
Exactly. I am let me try. I nailed this several times. I'm a cisgender heterosexual male,
Yeah.
which means I was born a male, I identify as a male, and I'm heterosexual. My sister, growing up, my mom was a huge ally because her uncle, my great uncle, was a closeted homosexual, contracted AIDS.
I'm sorry.
Fucking, yeah, dude. Was married, and they were all Christians, so he like lied and told everyone. Well,
That's terrible, man.
yeah, he said that he was unfaithful with a woman, and so my mom was very, very pro ally, and I learned from that and like embraced it. So
Good, man.
when my sister was growing up, I thought I was helping her. I wasn't. I was going about it wrong. I didn't know that. So
What do you mean? What happened?
I would tell her things like, I know you're gay, just say you're gay. I know you're lesbian. And I would say things like, oh, is that your girlfriend? Or like, not like, oh, is that your girlfriend? Just like, yo, dude, is that like your girlfriend?
Very matter of factly.
Yeah, and she's like, no, it's a friend. I was like, okay, I'm just asking. And stuff.
You gotta be all weird about it. Just kidding.
Yeah, and that's how. And sadly,
Sibling picking on her like a sibling, right?
just being like, yo, dude, she's cute. Is that like your girlfriend?
Yeah.
And like trying to be the big brother. And it did not come out the way I wanted it to. Obviously, it fucking broke her heart and made her feel like she cannot come out.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And no, it's fine. And this is what I've taken from it is good. Like, not good that she felt that way or I did that, but she wrote a speech. She said it at her graduation. My mom told me about it, and it broke my heart. And that's the good thing that happened, because I realized what I was doing was wrong. And there are so many people out there that feel like they're doing what I thought I was being supportive and being a good brother, but I was being a fucking asshole, and I didn't realize it. I thought in my mind, oh, I'm helping her, and she came out now. Oh, it must have been because of me. Fuck no. And it took that pain of realizing I was the bad guy to open up and start the podcast and start having voices in the community, not only just on the episodes, but friends. They're good friends now. Like, and I told her that in one of our episodes, and she cried, and I cried. It was so good. But yeah, that's why. What were we talking about?
No, we're talking about the podcast, what it's about, your sister, how that inspired you. Don't worry, you didn't do anything wrong, dude. We're still on track. But yeah, no, it's cool that you're at least. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I just get like super like into a subject. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna tell you the whole story. And I'm like, only supposed to give you like 2 lines, and I give you the whole.
No, dude,
script.
not here. Like here, I encourage people to get off the rails and like be real and like just speak from your heart. So don't trip. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way to do this. Good. You know, and that's just where you're coming from. But it's cool that, you know, even as a straight cisgender male or whatever, you know, because that you're able to be cool and progressive. Like I am also heterosexual cisgender male, But it doesn't mean I can't be a friend of like the community or understand other people's,
Yeah.
perspectives. Like growing up, I had lots of friends that were gay, a couple that were like transgender in high school,
Yeah.
family that was like that, and just always brought around different types of people. And like I think we both kind of have a shared background. Well, actually, I don't know that we have a shared background, but you can understand it
Yeah.
because we were talking about before how like growing up for a little bit of time, like my parents, particularly my dad, was like super Seventh-day Adventist and like
Yeah, super
against like
religious.
gay, against
Ugh.
like turning lights on Friday evening after 8, like
Which is
all kinds of weird
insane to me.
rules. Yeah, but
It's
like
like-
some people are that way.
Like, how's
You know, and,
religion
like-
going to be like, yo, you got to sit in the dark and do fucking nothing
I know,
for
dude.
12 hours straight? Or God's going to smite you to hell.
You can rest a little bit. He gave you the world. You can rest a little. That's how it felt, man. But no, it's it definitely took me a long time to realize because some of the ideas that I was brought up around were definitely
Oh, yeah.
not the most progressive or right way of thinking of things. Like, even like talking to like good friends like Jay, a mutual friend of
Yeah.
ours, has enlightened me to like new ways of thinking about my own past, and like I think it's enabled me to grow from it and just have
Yeah.
new perspectives. And like it's awesome that you're able to grow even if you weren't perfect at the beginning. You can at least recognize what you were doing wrong and how you can be a better help to like your sister or whoever
Yeah. And
in
that's
the community. And you're right, it's a scary time where like
yeah, it is.
everybody's rights are being challenged, and like seems like we're on the verge of going backwards. It's scary.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's like we even discussed it because I guess apparently football's back in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Football is fucking whatever. And my brother was telling me that there were people protesting the protests. So there's people, football players that were going to have the names of the victims who have been murdered by the police, by police brutality.
Most recently.
Most recently, yes. Yeah, fuck.
I'm just
The
kidding.
list would go.
Yeah.
There's not enough players in the NBA. How does it say NBA? And yeah, NBA, NFL, and baseball to have all the names that have been violently executed by the police. Anyways, but there was people saying, "Oh, don't make it political by putting these victims' names on your jersey. Football shouldn't be about politics." I'm like, when did human rights become a political thing? Like, I'm sorry, the breath you are taking is too much. We're gonna have to pass a law for you to take less breath. What the? When did that like? What blows my mind is, gay marriage has been legal in California or the United States for what? Only 8 years.
I know, it's insane that certain laws you'd think like, oh, that must have happened ages ago, and then you
Yeah.
look it up and it's like, oh, 34 years ago, huh?
You're like,
Shit.
whoa.
Or like that's still not legal technically, or like yeah, it's crazy to think that we haven't made as much progress, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or we've made a ton of progress,
Oh,
I should
yeah,
say,
there's-
but we're not as far removed from our flawed past as
Yeah.
we would like to believe, unfortunately.
And I don't know, it's and that's the thing is like I've come to a point in my life where I'm like, okay, there's being an ally, and then there's just being what's the word? I don't want to say lazy. I don't want to call anyone. I want it to be an eye opener, but I don't want to like straight up diss anybody. But there's a difference between being an ally and just having gay or black friends. Being an ally is someone who you learn pronouns. You learn people's pronouns. You call them by them. You correct. You do not aggressively attack anyone, because I have a story about this. You don't aggressively attack people. about misgendering. You just make a simple correction, like, oh, actually, like, because I have 2 trans friends, and my brother will always mess up on the gender, and I mean, we're brothers, so I kind of like, hey, fucker, it's him. Like,
Yeah.
just like kind of him, like, no, his. And, but I mean, there's times where, like, even my wife makes mistakes. I'm like, oh, honey, it's her.
And everybody's
or
allowed
she.
to be
Yeah.
flawed, dude. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, but
And that's the thing that I will say this. Like, there's sometimes people on all sides that they forget that people are just flawed people. You know, and like, we need to find more common ground in general. A lot of tension, crisis could be averted just through conversation, I'm sure.
For sure. And that's why it's like, it's okay to correct people. It's not okay to aggressively, and there's a story to this. You need to learn how to be sensitive, but also assertive. But sometimes people can be very assertive, and like a friend of mine just had a baby, and she didn't do a gender reveal party because California has a real sore spot right now for gender reveals. So she just went on Facebook and said she is here. That's it. Simple. She is here. Her daughter is born. A mutual friend went on that beautiful post and said, how dare you say she? This is child abuse. They are not able to identify, therefore you say they. You are not an ally. And I immediately was like, 13 comments, let me read this book. But I didn't say anything because, like, I know this person's also trans.
Yeah.
So I know there's a lot of built up resentment towards people saying that, but like, I was super mad because I'm like, dude, this is someone's child who's born.
Yeah, like, you're making a lot of assumptions. Like, they're not trying to be a dick right now. They're, like, overjoyed because it's a baby.
Yeah.
It's a fucking baby.
Were you supposed to say, my child, they are here. And
my child is here.
They have been born.
Admire them.
They are a part of this world. And, like...
Those are the people that are annoying and that give the other side good ammo to hate people that are ultra liberal, because that's like just being fucking petty at that point.
This is how I feel, and I've talked to a lot of people in the community, especially trans friends.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I asked about it. I was like, yo, dude, is this fucked up? And they were like, fuck that asshole. Like, fuck that person. Who would do that on someone's child? Like,
right? That's what I'm saying. Like, you're taking away this fucking precious moment to them, and you're making it about you and your bullshit and the world's bullshit, and that's not cool.
And, I mean, I understand, like, they were definitely projecting years of... Because and that's where I come off to... Or I not come off. I learn, and I try to alert people, is these people who are very liberal and very like, oh, how dare you misgender, is...
God, I hate that phrase when it's used seriously.
Yeah.
I can only use it ironic, or like sarcastically, I should say.
Yeah.
But anytime anybody seriously means how dare you, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah.
No matter what the circumstance, fuck you.
Every time I say how dare you is usually me making fun of someone saying,
right, because how dare anyone be this entitled? You know?
Yeah. And so I've come across those people, and I've had some conversations. Luckily they didn't like blast me right out like they took me aside, which you would do, and say, hey, listen, what you said might come off as this. Like, I had an episode where I had a pansexual on.
Yeah.
And we were talking a little bit of the community. And she even said, I don't know exactly, but... And mentioned something about trans people. And somebody like made a comment on the podcast and then messaged me directly and was like, I don't want to be rude or anything, but I feel like that was out of line. Maybe it might offend somebody. To me, I think that's a little acceptable, because if I'm catering to that community, I'm like giving a voice to that community. If I have something that is offensive, yeah, tell me, let me know, so I can change it. And that's all I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to change myself, better myself, be more understanding, be a better ally. But don't fucking go to somebody who just had a child.
Yeah, don't be a dick about it.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
It's like, oh God, if somebody did that when my son was born, I would have probably... No, I don't even want to say what I would have done. It would have involved a camera, my child, and probably a 30-day ban.
Right on.
Well deserved.
No, dude, I understand it. So in addition to having the podcast that caters to the LGBT community, you also run a BLM zine right now, right?
So it's actually, we have a poetry group.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I may have misinterpreted that. But yeah, so you have a poetry group?
Yes, we have a poetry group, and we produced our own zine, which is a very punk rock type publishing, where we do everything ourselves and publish a magazine of poems. And during the tragic events of George Floyd, I wrote like 4 different poems, 4 to 6 poems. And one of the admins of the group was like, I know we're not going to release a zine till October, but we need to release one right now for Black Lives Matter. And it was, I'd say like 2 weeks, and we had it out.
That's way cool.
We put some fills out there, and we got artwork from really awesome black artists, a lot of authors, and we also filled it with some really cool protest tips too, on how to deal with tear gas, and pro tips on how to protect especially the people of color in the protests, because they're the biggest targets. Like, they're the ones that we're here to protect, and sadly they're mostly targeted in those events of like peaceful protests that turn into riots. So we put out tips like that, also how to support black owned restaurants and stores here in our area, but we have a website too that's in the zine that tells you black-owned businesses in your area.
Cool, man. So was your goal for that to be kind of some assistance to the black community, and kind of give people...
okay, so...
I was like, I saw that, like, I sparked something in you. You seemed like immediately you had something you wanted to say. I'm like, let's hear it.
My mom is black. I have a black mom. She was born that way. Okay.
She didn't become that way after years of training, and no.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yes.
Sorry.
That just doesn't happen, you guys. And that's a thrust to that white chick who said she identifies as black. Anyways, it's a whole
Rachel
different...
Dolezal or whatever. Yeah. It's a funny story.
So my mom is black, and when all this happened, she also lives in a town by the name of Yucaipa, which, growing up, we would always joke about how racist Yucaipa is and how, like, filled of Nazis it is. And after George Floyd's death, oh, by golly, have they fucking openly just admitted that all of them are fucking white supremacist motherfuckers.
Really?
Pretty much. They're like, nobody just... Like, my mom's been called the N-word several times.
I'm so sorry.
Just recently. There's been times where Now she won't even go out in public in
That's
in
terrible.
town
In her own...
without her husband. Yeah.
That's fucking terrible, dude.
And when sadly, being the firstborn, I guess my mom didn't have enough ink in her printer, so I'm very white looking. My siblings are a little more noticeable, but I have family members and cousins who have been affected by police brutality. I have
Right.
too. I've been yelled at by cops in Spanish because I look more Hispanic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I don't speak Espanol. No, sorry.
Been there, dude. Been there.
And so when Black Lives Matter, this last time was like, it sparked a lot in me because I'm like, fuck, dude. Like I have cousins. I have my cousin, who is pretty much my brother. We grew up since birth. He was my older brother. He could be fucking shot. Like, we went to protests, and it's like, there's been times where he's definitely been pulled over with a gun in his face. It's like, dude. So that...
Yeah, a lot of people, unfortunately, don't have the privilege, and I say that sarcastically,
Yeah.
of going through these horrible moments of profiling through their life. So it's hard to imagine for a lot of people, but I think if it happens to you or even a friend or a family member even once, like, it's hard to ignore the glaring power issue that exists, you know, because, like, you have to listen. You have to do what they say.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. And it just sucks, man, because if anything bad goes down, most people are going to assume you are the problem, not the police officer. Like, I know I've definitely had a gun to my head because I looked familiar, and I was in a Hispanic area that had gang issues, and shit like that happens, unfortunately, man.
Dude, this is actually a funny, not a funny story, but it's a story that I've like almost blocked out of my memory, and then I brought it up, and I was like, oh shit, I totally forgot this happened. I was at a girlfriend's house. I moved into her house.
Yeah.
This was about, like, Jesus, almost 10 years ago. I was outside smoking a cigarette, and I saw a neighbor, like, clocking me, just making sure they knew where I was. And I was like, so finally I just waved to them. I was like, hey, and they, like, kind of scurried off. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, at that time I had very long hair. I was a punk kid. I understand. I was terrifying looking. So I went inside and I took a shower. Went from the shower in my towel, started playing video games, and the door gets kicked in.
Oof.
And I was like, and I turned, and as soon as I turned, 4 police officers, guns drawn, screamed at me, get on the ground. And I was like, what the fuck did I do? So I'm like on the ground, and I just threw my hands on my head, and they cuffed me right away, and they're like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I'm naked. What do you think I'm doing here? I took a shower.
Live here,
yeah,
you
I live
asshole.
here. Yeah. And they're asking me who the owner was. I was like, Amanda. I live with her and her mom. We rent the place with her mom. My name will be on the lease. It's not on there now because I just moved in. And I'm like telling them, and they're like, what's your name? And I was like, give them my name, tell them and they're like, where's your ID? I was like, I am butt naked in a towel.
Dude, I hate that.
I'm like, if you just spread my cheeks, where the fuck do you think it is?
I keep my wallet in my ass, or one moment. Yeah,
like, can you just lift my left tit? It's under there next to my keys and a pack of cigarettes. And they were just like, they called my girlfriend. She didn't answer. And they're like, likely story. They called my girlfriend's mom's work.
Oh, I'm
And
sure she was thrilled about that.
She
Yeah.
was home in 5 minutes screaming at the cops. Her mom, because my girlfriend at the time was working in the ER, she was a nurse, and her mom came in and started screaming at them. It was like, how fucking dare you? And I'm sitting there in a towel, naked, cuffed, and they're like, she's like, he is naked. Like, first off,
Didn't factor in their mind.
yeah.
It's the most clever trick in the book. The old take the clothes off and suds up, huh? Seen this before.
Look at, he put pictures of himself
Yeah,
all over the
exactly. Like Chappelle.
yeah, straight up. It felt like that. It's like,
I believe it, dude. It sucks.
I had the Nintendo on. I had the fucking GameCube. I was playing Mario Sunshine. I remember it. And, I guess a lot of crooks in San Bernardino strip naked, take showers, find the nearest video game console, grabs the biggest bag of Doritos they can, and just goes to fucking town.
They're like, look, you put all this pot and porn everywhere. Make it look like he lives here. No.
Oh, God.
It's
Luckily,
so
there's
funny,
no
dude.
porn because her mom was the one. That'd been great. Just naked, surrounded in porn.
Gaping ass porn on the TV. And it's
Just-
like, what happened here? I was just washing up.
I came in and the
Yeah.
cops threw porn everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I swear, Linda, it wasn't me watching this stuff.
They also they used up all of your paper towels.
Yeah,
and
all the good tissues gone.
all the good tissues gone. These animals. But so when someone mentioned, the Black Lives Matter zine with the poetry group, immediately I was like, fuck yes.
Let's do this. Right on.
And was very into it. You can hit us up too. We have PDF files. We were giving out copies, but it was a little hard on our wallet. So
I understand. Keep the digital copies out there for free.
yeah, for
It's
sure.
better to go that way sometimes, for sure.
So yeah, I'll give you a link or something.
Yeah, what's the name of the group so they can look it up?
Writers on the Block.
Writers on the Block. So did you grow up in the Inland Empire or Yucaipa? Where'd you grow up, man?
Born and raised in fucking Redlands.
Right on.
Actually, sorry, born in Loma Linda, but raised in Redlands for, I'd say, about 14 years. And then when I was 14, I moved to Banning.
Nice.
No. Banning is Beaumont's taint to Cabazon, which is the full nutsack of that little area there.
It's Inland Empire living, man. I get it. I'm from the Inland Empire, too, for the most part. And it's like, people used to make fun of me because it's like, they'd say it's like where culture goes to die. And it's like, well, I mean, it's fair.
But I mean, that's insane because, like, in the IE, you have, like...
There is a lot of culture, I should say.
Yeah, I mean,
especially
you have,
now.
like Claremont, Montclair. You
Downtown
have
Riverside, downtown
fucking-
Redlands.
Yeah, there's so much art. And then you have, like, places like Banning, which is just a street.
Yeah, it's like used car lots, massage parlors, liquor stores.
And just a bunch of meth heads.
I spent some time in Manning when I was younger.
My God. When?
I have a story that I am reluctant to bring up, but I have a story that is in one of my jokes about going to a massage parlor. When I was younger, my friend convinced me to go, and it was out in Beaumont.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Anyways, yeah, go.
Probably.
Yeah,
it was called like Royal
was it Royal Palms?
Royal something like that. Yeah, and it was like
but it's like palm trees, but they had
Probably,
some royal
dude.
palms in there. I heard.
Yeah. Well, and the weird thing was, like, the joke ends with me. I don't want to give away the joke. Maybe I'll post the joke. Be on the lookout for that joke. But it basically ends with me befriending the person that was supposed to be sexually pleasuring me. And that was inspired a lot by true life. I don't know what it is about me. A very sweet boy, sweet gentleman.
I can see
I have
it for
this
sure.
ability to just connect with people on a real level.
Yeah.
even when it's an inappropriate time, like like that. And it was weird because within 5 minutes we became like genuine
Good
people.
friends.
Yeah, we could talk about. She gave me her real name and everything. And it's like, this isn't how this is supposed to end. But yeah, that's my experience with
Oh,
that
what a
area.
happy
Yeah.
ending to the happy ending.
Yeah. So when you grew up in the Inland Empire, and
Yeah.
what did you want to do, man? Like, did you always want to do creative stuff? Because like you work during the day.
Yeah.
Your day job is in the healthcare.
Yeah, I work in a hospital.
Yeah.
I've always been an entertainer. I've always been the class clown.
We should mention too, you run an awesome local comedy
Yeah.
show out here that's been known in the area for a while now. It's called Laugh Local Redlands,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And that was spawned by a few friends, but that was also because we didn't really see too many shows in Redlands. But growing up, I always wanted to do anything with entertainment. I wanted to be an actor. I took drama. I was a class clown. I was writing poetry and part of the poetry club. And sophomore year to junior year of high school, I was in fashion.
Right on.
I was in
Very creative person, sounds like.
Yeah, so I wanted to entertain, and it's mostly because I had such a depressing childhood. Like, I had a lot of trauma and a lot of very dark things that happened, and I wanted to keep the light in the world, you know, like I wanted to. That's so fucking cliche.
No, I get what you
It
mean.
is,
though,
but I
you
mean,
wanted to like.
But it was, I had a lot of suffrage. I did not want the world.
You turn that sadness into jokes, right?
Yeah,
Or like into humor,
jokes, humor,
levity.
yeah, and
I get it.
I always wanted to do something, but you've heard that joke, jack of all trades, master of none.
That's like every comedian, though, you know? Like, I feel like every comedian I know and every person that's wanting to be an artist, typically you're into many different mediums, not just one, you know?
And
But no, I feel you, because that's kind of how I feel sometimes, too.
Yeah.
So you feel like you're a jack of all trades, master of none?
Oh, yeah, man. Like, I've done music. I know a lot of people in...
When you say you've done music, do you play...
Yeah.
What do you play?
I play bass and guitar.
Nice.
Not the best, but I do.
Whatever.
I also did vocals for like grindcore death metal bands, which is just a lot of grunting, growling.
Dude, there's a market for it. You know, there's people out there that love that stuff.
Oh yeah, I do. Oh, I love me some
There you
death
go.
metal. But I've done music. I've done art. I've done comedy, and then I've done acting.
Yeah.
I've done. I have an improv troupe. I like teaching. I want to be a teacher. So it's like I want to affect people's lives in a positive way.
Right.
So ever since I was young and growing up, I wanted to do something that is going to be positive on someone's life.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why I did the podcast, and another reason why I've done the things I do, and kind of the lifestyle I'm choosing now is like, I want to make a difference. How am I going to do that? Fucking with every bit of energy I can produce.
Well, it seems like you're doing it, man. I mean, I've heard only good things about your show. You seem to be a good local tenet of positivity. You know, your zine is a positive source of positivity too.
Yes.
It seems like, and it seems like you got all these different outlets that you know, like help you to do the things that you set out to do when you're younger, I guess. So, like, do you feel like you're in a point in your life where like you're happy with like all the projects you're able to pull off and like still manage to do your day-to-day dad duties and work duties and all that?
I mean, you probably know the answer to that. Being a comedian, being someone in the industry, you can sell out an entire stadium, and there could always be a
Something bigger,
something
more,
bigger,
right?
yeah. Like, yeah, and that's the most painful thing. With
Never satisfied.
never, and it's like, I mean, oh man, there are times where I've had people come up to me because for a while I was very into like the mental health scene, and I had a group called Heart for a while.
Cool.
It was health, art, relaxation, respiratory therapy. So
Cool.
It was a lot of like, we do dodgeball games on Sunday with like yoga, meditation. And it was just like, that was after a suicide attempt, which I guess we're going to have to talk about next.
I mean, you can't just glance over it.
Yeah.
Now that you brought it up.
Yeah. But I've had people come up to me and go, dude, you've helped me. And like,
That's awesome.
I've written a few poems that I performed at some of our poetry events, and people will come up to me and be like, dude, thank you for sharing that. I've had the same thing happen to me. I'm gonna like I have a friend who came up to me after I wrote a poem about sexual abuse, and he started crying, and like I embraced him, and he was like, thank you for being so brave that I am now able to open up and tell my story. And he did. At the next event, I bawled like a fucking baby. I grabbed him, hugged him, and now it's like we have a little group chat where we talk. It's a bunch of dudes who've had sexual abuse, and it's like, so yeah, I've done, there's things where I'm like, fuck yes, I'm on the right track, but I'm like, I can do more. Like I should have several podcasts with several different.
Nah, you got to go easy on yourself, man. You got to give yourself credit too.
Yeah,
You've done a lot.
I do. I mean, that's why I brought it up, because it's a great moment.
Yeah, I know how great I am. Like, make no mistake, I know how fucking awesome I am.
I need those moments. So I
You
do.
do, man.
I mean, we all.
Nothing wrong with taking pride, a little bit of pride. Not
Yeah.
a lot, but a little bit of pride in
Oh,
like
yeah.
the good things you do. You work hard to do them, dude.
It's all or was it mediation or
Moderation.
moderation?
Yeah.
There you, I obviously I don't know what that word means.
Suck, dude.
It's all in moderation. Give
It's
yourself
all
credit.
meditation. It's fun.
It's all in masturbation.
Yeah,
You know,
nah.
just one stroke at a time
Just
with a solid finish. That's life.
this is how I know I've been like thinking about jokes too long. It's like everything you said, I can kind of make sense. Like I can figure out like the logic and everything you just said. Like, those are kind of related statements, aren't they?
That's my life.
So you say you want to do more. Like what
Yeah.
other things would you want to do in your lifetime? Do you have goals?
I want to be president.
I mean, is that something you would really want?
I don't know.
It's like a horrible job.
You
It's a
know,
lot to do.
You know, I would be more on the revolution side than anything.
Burn it down.
burn it
That's
down,
good.
start it over. Well,
Yeah.
not burn everything down, but you know, I want to reach more people. Like I want to be out there because I feel like, especially with COVID, we've definitely been like in our own little habitats, our own little corners, just kind of like keeping to ourselves. But I want to reach more people. I want to let more people know, because I know there's a lot more people
Yeah.
suffering and dealing with a lot of the stuff I'm dealing with, like depression or history of sexual assault, sexual abuse, people who want to be an ally, don't know how to do it, don't know how to help this situation, or some people who never thought that what they were doing was wrong, and then like I want to change, I want to change lives, and I feel that yes, I'm on the right path, but I want the path to be bigger, Yeah. Like I want my own TV station. No, I just want to help people, and I want to help a lot of people because there's a lot of people to be helped.
So you're not necessarily thinking the social worker route. You're thinking more the big broadcast journalist. Reach a bunch of people, maybe have a show type deal. That's cool, man.
But not like sellout wise, because there's a lot of like sellouts and a lot of like we talked about religion and like what's his face, like Joel Osteen or those people who have this like gnarly show that could preach about good stuff, but they use that venue for
bad.
For
greed.
For greed.
Yeah.
And then there's like people like what's his name? That Weasley motherfucker on Fox News. That guy who uses his
Bill O'Reilly?
Not Bill O'Reilly.
I was like, who?
No, Tucker Carlson or Tucker.
I try not to watch.
Yeah, don't worry.
But
they like those people make me mad. Or what's his name? The guy who was disgusted by the song "Wet Ass Pussy," Ben Shapiro.
Oh yeah, that's such a weird stance to take on something that has. Like, you could have just said nothing about it. Like nobody wanted to know your opinion on that, dude. Like,
oh my god,
such a weird thing to comment on.
He's getting fucking shredded by everyone online. But
and you can't try to talk down to people about their sexual proclivities and what they enjoy. Like,
right?
Yeah, it's a weird thing for him to comment on.
But I get mad at those people because they have a platform and they have these fans and they have everyone listening to every word they say, and it's like you can use that to actually help people, like give them information that will benefit their life and help them move forward and not be stuck in this weird backwards ass thinking that you share. And it's like I want to get to that point to where,
well, the difference is I think they just have more time, dude. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're already on the right path.
Or maybe I just start just really supporting Trump and just like hear me out. I just get
it's your prerogative, dude. But I just don't see that being for you.
I just like chew it back, sell out, get really into it, and just like fucking make America great again. And then when I have all these little MAGA hats, just like pull the veil from over their eyes, like, haha, fuckers, Black Lives Matter.
I was into socialized medicine the whole time.
Trans lives matter, motherfuckers. Gotcha.
I still kind of feel like that might be what Kanye's doing. Like, I've talked to my friends about this because he's such a divisive person. But, like, there's still part of me that hopes deep down inside that, like, he's going to reveal one day that this has been some very elaborate performance art and, like, it's been a sham the whole time, you know? Because, like, there's no denying that, like, Kim Kardashian has played a role in the freedom of some people that have been falsely accused of crimes.
Yeah.
You know, and, like, there's no denying that he's brought to light certain issues that Trump might not have otherwise seen if Kanye didn't bring it to light. But also, like, his first album was great. His first two albums are great. Like, what happened to him?
I'll be the first to say I've never given a fuck about Kanye West. I've never.
Dude. First two albums were gold.
That's what everyone says, and I try
They
listening
are.
to them, and I'll put on one song, and I'll turn it off, and I'll put on Liquid Swords, and I'm like, now this is music. Like, I can't get into Kanye, and I'm sorry, like,
I mean, each to each his own.
I feel like hip hop should be like dangerous. I feel like it should make you feel like you're dangerous or it's dangerous. Like that's the real hip hop I like.
Right.
So I couldn't get into Kanye.
What inspires you, music wise or otherwise?
Different. I have strived my entire life to be an individual. Like I had really bad identity issues when I was younger because like being raised by a black mom and a painfully white stepdad, as white as the driven snow, and like having to tell people that's not my dad and that's my mom, and like I never really had an identity because like a lot of my family was very Hispanic or very like black, and like
you just didn't feel like you fit in.
no, I mean,
I get it, dude. Trust me, I get it.
like I was 10 years old listening to fucking Wu-Tang Clan, and I should not have been listening to Wu-Tang Clan, and like watching anime, and like everyone was like, fuck you, dude, let's watch Power Rangers. I was like, yeah, Power Rangers cool, but man, like Knights of Orion, dude, or fucking Akira, you ever seen that shit, dude? Ninja Scroll, like, and I was always like that weird kid. So I've always been drawn to different types of music and movies that people don't generally like. Like, I mean, my music taste ranges from dirty underground hip hop, like and then some LA underground hip hop, like Bus Driver and
I love Bus Driver.
Oh, I fucking love it, dude. Open Mike Eagle. Have you heard that new album or the new? Oh,
He just came out with the new album.
it's a new album or a new single. I don't know. Spotify keeps like fucking telling me that.
I'm surprised. There's a lot of people coming out with like singles that I haven't heard from in a while.
Dude.
Like great band, the Avalanches came
Yeah.
out with like a full new LP out of nowhere, and I haven't heard from them in a couple of years.
The Flaming Lips had their own.
That's
like,
awesome.
A new little EP. Who else? Bright Eyes came out with a new album. The Killers. Like, but like that's sort of my music. It goes
Right
from like
on.
indie rock to hip hop to like grindcore. Like Pig Destroyer just had a new album come out. I fucking love that shit. It's dope. It's an EP, but
I've never even heard Pig Destroyer. What is that?
it's okay. Try and follow. It's it's what we would call it's grindcore, but it's leaning more towards power violence. I'll explain that.
I was like, those are two terms I do not know.
So
Gotta be honest.
it is a mixture of death metal, thrash, and punk.
Okay.
Power violence is more faster, more thrashier. With,
Cool.
yeah, I can see the light of your eyes just going dim.
Well, no, I mean, I know with thrash. When I think thrash, I think of like early Metallica, fast metal that's borderline punk and like just aggressive music, right?
Yeah.
Aggressive chops.
Oh yeah, very aggressive, and so like, and so it ranges from like power violence to grindcore to death metal to like hardcore punk to French new wave. Yes,
Cool.
French new wave.
It's very specific.
Because I like new wave, but it's made like synth wave has made a reoccurrence or like a resurgence recently. which I fucking love.
Future Islands is dope.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, you said Future Islands or Teacher Islands?
Future Islands, I believe.
Future Islands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you heard them? They have a song like Seasons Change.
Yes. But there's several bands with the name Island.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, wow.
So it's like,
maybe that's a new wave trend. I don't know.
it's not just new wave, but I was just like,
oh, yeah. No. I think that's it. Anyway.
future waves. Okay. But yeah, like synthwave, and goth rock, death
Right
rock.
on.
Yeah. Like my top 5 band is the Mountain Goats,
Nice.
Death, not the
Nice.
punk band Death, but the death metal band Death.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah. Prince,
Nice. Good call.
Talking Heads, and Wu-Tang Clan. Like
Solid.
early 90s Wu-Tang.
Solid choices, man.
Yeah.
Like, those are all really good classic sounds. And what about, like, if you had to do, like, a top 5, or not even top 5, but give me 5 influential poets on you.
Oh man, just one. Well, actually, 2, 3. Okay, a couple. Leonard Cohen.
12 quick. No.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, one, no, a lot.
Wait,
Oh,
Leonard Cohen, as in Hallelujah Leonard Cohen? The musician?
yes,
Dope, dude.
he
Go on.
is. Leonard Cohen is also a huge musical influence, but his poetry is so vulnerable. Like his music's very vulnerable. His music is
Yeah.
very like
Some of the saddest stuff you'll ever hear.
not just
Or not even
sad,
sad,
but
but
just
like-
very personal.
Yeah.
Every song is a bit of himself, and it's so. I totally fucking don't know why I didn't throw Leonard Cohen in the top 5, but him and
on.
Prince are just like two influence huge. So Leonard Cohen for sure. I don't like saying this, but Charles Bukowski,
Why not?
he is a dirty motherfucker.
He is.
so
He's not a hero.
gross. He's not.
Or
a
he
hero.
shouldn't be a hero, but he
but
is a lot of people's hero.
his-
For some weird reason, yeah.
Some of his poems on life are so painfully honest
Yeah.
that you're like, oof, oh. But then there's like, I don't know, that scene where he butt rapes a chick and buys her pancakes afterwards in one of his books, Postman.
Raw, real.
Yeah, fucking.
Just kidding.
Jesus Christ, that guy.
Cutting edge. you know.
That guy is disgusting. I hate him, but influential, yeah. I mean, fuck, I guess he's definitely.
I mean, somebody can be good and flawed, you know?
Yeah,
He
for
was
sure.
definitely a good example of that. Like, he is kind of like the anti-hero of the writing world
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
and then just some musicians that also like Jeff Mangum,
Who's that?
Neutral Milk Hotel.
Nice.
He has some poetry as well. I don't think he has a book. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he doesn't have a book. I do know he has some works, but
I like Neutral Milk Hotel, but not enough to know all their works.
yeah, he's
Unfortunately.
Jeff Mangum's a weirdo. Another Jeffrey Lewis, is a musician who has a poetry book. His writings really influenced me too. So it's mostly like musicians that
Right
use their music as a venue for their poetry. Because let's be honest, poets are boring as fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
Poetry.
not all, but most
Yeah,
could stand to have a little bit of music in it. behind
Definitely.
it, yeah.
that's why like with my poetry, I make it.
Just strive to make it rhythmic, or
I make it more visual,
Uh-huh.
more visceral, and like I tend to play. I do a lot of wordplay, and that's mostly because of a speech impediment I had as a kid, where I use different, very descriptive words on, because I forget words sometimes. So I'll just think of a description, what the word is, and I just say it, and I throw that in my poetry like constantly. Like there's a poem I do that I've written called Snack Attack, where I faced my food addiction, and I started like describing foods like what was it, deep fried dirt berries, potatoes, like right out the bat, because they're like almost a fruit, and like crunch dunkers.
What are crunch dunkers?
Chips.
Okay.
Crunch dunkers. And like I use a lot of visual description, and like that's how I make it like fun. And when I read too, I'm very like animated and very I'm not one of those people like, and then she whisked his hair upon her ear and the silence was done. Like,
not very monotonous or monotone.
Monotone. There's a few readers in our group that are like that, and I do like their stuff, but I'm just like, can I read it? like
Sam wept in water,
yes,
willfully, reckoning every waking day of worshiping without withdrawal. We come again. Yeah, I know. Storybook voice, dude. That's a hard thing to break out of.
Yeah.
That's something I've had to be conscious of throughout my comedy career. Because I realized I used to be really monotone.
Yeah.
And like that's something I've actively worked to break away from.
I think...
But to each your own. Some people can pull it off.
I think monotone is a serious, like, art form. It can be what you call it, the storybook voice. It could be boring, but it can also, you can do very artistically. Like there are comedians that are very like monotone and very funny, because they'll say like they'll use the monotone to their advantage, where they'll just say some wild shit with a straight face, and I think that's the funniest shit. And
shout out to the great Earl Skakel and to Stephen Wright.
Hey, shout out, dude.
I know one of those.
Yeah. Earl is great. I love that episode, BT Dubs.
Oh, dude, thank you so much for
good.
listening. He's an awesome guy.
He's so cool. I want to I would like to meet him.
He's been doing the live Inappropriate Earls every Friday lately at the Comedy Store.
Okay.
So you could probably go down and meet him and like see him at the very least every single Friday at the Comedy Store lately.
He seems like a really cool dude, man.
He is, dude. He's a very genuine, real, nice person.
I love that.
Very what you see is what you get, and like that's a very rare thing, especially in comedy. So
yeah,
awesome to know him, and shout out to Earl.
Fuck yeah, dude, you're dope. Also another really comforting comedian, Johnny Gold, Jay Light too, man. Just shout out to them. Those guys are really cool, amazing people to just like be around.
Definitely Johnny is very unique, and as is
cranky,
Jay.
Very cranky. Very cranky. God, I love him, but he's like, at any moment I fear that Johnny Gold is gonna snap one day.
Oh, yeah, that's why you stay on his good side.
Exactly.
No, we love you, Johnny. All right, if you could go back in time and give your younger self a bit of wisdom, knowing now what you know as an adult, what do you think you'd go back and tell yourself?
Oh man, stop eating. Fuck, I would.
You and me both, dude. Right?
Dude, I played.
Carbs are bad. So is sugar. Sugar is carbs.
Oh my god! Like, I would tell myself, I'd go to 14-year-old JP.
Yeah.
By that time, I was already 250 pounds. I was
pretty heavy too, unfortunately, dude. So I get it. Like, I played football when I was younger. My coach would call me Big Beefy.
Yep.
Fuck him, first off. But I get it.
I played football too. I would tell them, listen, don't listen to your coach. don't listen to one of your coaches. I don't want to name blast them, but don't listen to that coach.
The drunk one.
The very closeted homosexual coach who was taking out his anger on all of us and kept telling you to eat more. Like, he would tell me, so I would be like, that coach telling you to put on more weight and muscle, he would tell me to eat 35,000 calories a day.
Wow, that's a lot.
Almost 4, depending on what I was doing, and just fucking muscle training. Like, I was, by the time I left high school, I was 300 pounds or 295 pounds, 6'2". I was like maybe like 15 to 20% body fat. I was beefy, yoked, just a big boy, scary big boy who was just a teddy bear in the fucking in a hard shell coating. And then I would tell myself, stay with the muscle training, don't eat too much, and then fucking stick with it. Do not spend those 2 years after high school and after football just shoving 3,500 calories in your mouth with doing nothing.
It's a hard thing when you're into the pattern, I imagine, right? It's hard to break away from.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you've trained yourself to do that. And it's so much easier not to work out than it is to work out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I would definitely, that'd be one of them. Another one would be stay the fuck away from Marissa.
I think we all have a Marissa in our lives.
Dangerous. She is a dangerous drug. And then also just fucking do it, man. I know what you want to do, and I know you have the capability of doing it. Just stop with the self-doubt and fucking do it. But that does not go for talking to Marissa. Stay the fuck away from her.
Bad news.
Bad.
She is bad news.
And Amanda, but not as bad as Marissa. But yes, those
top 2 tiers of bad people. Avoid them.
Worse.
It happens, dude. It's life experience. That's how you learn not to do that. All right, and then if you could go back, or not go back, if you could give any advice to all the listeners out there that you think would help them, here's your opportunity to affect all those people.
Fuck yeah.
All my tens of listeners out there. No.
Hey, man. Hey, it's dope.
Don't forget to tell your friends.
Yeah, please.
Please tell your friends.
Tell your friends. In this time of the apocalypse, or hopefully the rebirth of the world, we need a lot more positive influences. We need a lot more heart and love. So just spread love. Just spread positivity. Don't go online and fight with that one fucking uncle of yours whose top 2 phrases are he, she, and libtard. Don't fight with those people.
Number 3 is fuck them.
Fuck yeah. or those goddamn Democrats. It's too short to fight, and just be positive. Surround yourself around positive people. And then if you know some negative Nancy's, fucking hear them out, and then just give them a hug, dude. I have a lot of fucking racist people that I just have to hug. And yes, it's a power move to try and find their weak spot. So just in case I do have to take them down, I know where their weakest at. But you just gotta give them a hug too.
Surveillance hug.
Sorry.
Reconnaissance hug.
That's very contradictory. Like, be peaceful, but also, if you must take them out,
Know how to fuck
know their
'em up.
weakness.
No, just
Find the weakness and then strike. Hashtag Cobra Kai.
Love that show.
Mm-hmm.
Parents love that show. My mom loves that show for some reason.
It's
a good show.
It's good.
It's not bad, yeah.
I love the redemption arc. I'm living it.
Dude, yeah. I love that, like, you don't know how to feel about the past now.
Yeah.
They've made it all questionable.
Yes.
Right? And you're like, life isn't that easy, is it?
It's not. It's
yeah.
in those gray areas.
Yeah, it's all about perspective. You turn this poor boy into an alcoholic. It's not his fault.
Right.
He didn't want to be a douchebag.
No.
Yeah,
Poor
no, it's a
Johnny.
good show. I have a lot of opinions. That'll be a different podcast. So, go watch Cobra Kai. All right, dude. Before we get going, I usually have people lead us off with a song that everybody should go look up that I'll throw into a playlist. Although I know that I got to clean up the playlist because everything isn't as organized as I would like it to be on YouTube. I'll fix that soon. But if there is one song that comes to mind that's like special, means something to you, that you revisit sometimes, is there anything that comes popping up?
Oh, yes. This year, by the Mountain Goats. It is, sadly, it's one of their biggest hits.
Yeah.
Besides No Children. But that song, every time it comes on, I can hear it I've heard it a billion times. I've heard it live a billion times. But the lyrics and the song are just so fucking powerful. It's like the chorus is, I'm gonna make it through this year if it kills me. And
Isn't the rest of it like, I hope I die, I hope we both die, or something?
No, that's
a
No
different
Children.
song, right?
That's No Children.
Okay, my bad.
That song's about fucking a brutal divorce. That guy, John, is an amazing lyricist.
Yeah, I like Mountain Goats, but I have to be in a very dark place to fully enjoy it.
Dude,
And I think that's why I can't identify with it. Brings me back to a darkness that's deep in me.
Dude, honestly, they have a lot of their stuff is very like dark and depressive, but
yeah.
Sunset Tree, the new one with the dragon on it, and I can't remember. It's like something with dragons. Beat the Champ and The Beginning of the World. Those albums are very upbeat and very like joy. Like there's a few songs that are like, oh God, I'm gonna kill myself. Oh Jesus. Where you just fast forward and then the rest of the album's just like really fun, upbeat John. And that's
all right,
like,
I'll check it out.
yeah, those are more fun. And that's the Mountain Goats that I like. I do like that sad, depressing shit, but again, I do have to be in that kind of mood.
Exactly. Like Bright Eyes is not like it's not like a Sunday drive type of music. You know what I mean? That's like a rainy night. Like
some coffee.
Like
Oh, dude, just
he
like
sounds like he's crying the entire time he's singing.
his old stuff, like Casadega, dude.
Yeah.
That album is fucking a very almost close to like he.
Can you give this man a fucking hug? Somebody give this dude like a chill pill. Like
his new album came out and
Yeah.
it was actually pretty. No, it's fucking depressing.
yeah, I was like,
Versus-
don't get me wrong. Like there's some certain people out there that I love because of that. Like
Yeah.
Lou Reed, some of his songs take me to a very sad place, but I enjoy it because he's a
just, like,
brilliant person.
drug binges. Tom Waits is another.
Tom Waits is like a sad, depressing. Like Patton Oswalt had a funny joke about comparing something to being a real life Tom Waits song. It was the magician that he worked with repacking his suitcase. He was describing it, and he's like, it sounded like a Tom Waits song. And the sad magician puts the tricks in the suitcase and he closes it. But yeah, no, there's definitely certain musicians
Yeah,
that you got to be in a certain mood to enjoy.
for sure.
And I'm sorry to fucking get so detracted. So what was your song choice by Mountain Goats? I'm sorry.
Mountain Goats. This year.
This year by Mountain Goats. That's right. And you said, I'm going to make it through this year
If it kills me. Yes. It's a very energetic song, too. It's very energetic.
Right on, dude. Yeah. Well, before we get going, too, are there any quotes, books, anything you want to promote, anything that's changed your life that you would think others should check out?
Oh, man. I don't have any quotes. I do have a few poets I want to plug from the poetry group. If you go to Writers on the Block on Facebook and The Writers on the Block on Instagram, and then our email is wotb.redlands@gmail.com. I'm just giving you that as contact information, but to find these poets I'm going to bring up, go to those, the Facebook and the Instagram. Winry Poe, they are a amazing author. They have been writing up a storm. I had them on an episode, and they just shot off with I have 4 poems I just wrote today. And I'm like, what the fuck? They are an amazing poet. Robert Merrill, I think he has a YouTube. It's Merrill, Merrill, and he's like a retired professor. And his poetry, he has quite a few poems that are also in our Black Lives Matter zine. They have been helping me become a better writer, and just a shout out to all my admins too: Alfred Valdivia, Jessica Gilfillian, Jamie Lee, Stephanie Villain, Alex Lament. Just amazing poets, and they've been helping me through this craziness with their creativity. And then a book I read recently, Leonard Cohen's poems. Any book. I can't remember the one I just read, because I just kept flipping back to 6 to 7 different poems that I found that I was just like, oh, these are fucking great. And
right on.
So if you find some poetry books from Leonard Cohen, fucking check them out. Get them.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I want to thank you again for joining me and for being so enthusiastic about supporting the podcast again. It really does mean the world to me, man. And you're cranking out a great product too.
Thank you.
Can't wait to get to continue to know you when the world opens back up again.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And because like I said, I'm sure we can relate to a lot more. Even just in the short time and the short conversations we've had.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell there's a lot that we can find common ground on. But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. So, JP, everybody go out there, follow him, follow his podcast.
Yeah.
On Blast with JP Johnson. Life on Blast, I'm sorry, with JP Johnson.
So this is where it gets confusing. To find it, you type in On Blast with JP.podbean. Yeah, the show's called Life on Blast with JP Johnson. I'll fucking fix that. I'm sorry.
It's all right, dude. It's all right. You're still growing. It's cool. You probably did you change your mind on the name after the fact, or it happens. This was originally I was not sure if it was going to be called Walks of Life or Danny Frank's Walks of Life. And if you listen to all the promos, everybody says it differently, because I've told everybody to say it differently, because I forget sometimes, because I had different ideas of what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so check out his podcast. I'm going to link it in the bio as well as in the Instagram post and anywhere else I post this. He's an awesome dude, though. And if you're a member of the LGBT community, if you're into BLM, if you're into poetry, you just want to talk to somebody positive that's stoked on making the world a better place, this is the right guy to hit up, and again, if you aren't already subscribed, please subscribe to us on all platforms and let everybody know that you enjoy our podcast. Or if you hate it, please leave me a comment. Let me know.
Yeah.
Any and all comments will help, so by
Yes.
all means. Anyway, is there anything else you want to say before we get going?
No, that's it, man. Thank you guys for listening. Support the podcast. Comments, like, subscribe, smash that attraction
Like button?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know what the fucking kids say.
Yeah. No, we're just a couple guys out here trying to make the world a better place, and if you are into that, come with us. Come support our journey. Anyhow, for Danny, Frank, and JP, we're out here in Redlands. This is Danny Frank's Walks of Life. Thanks for listening, guys.